Namaskar. Hello everyone. RVD here. And I'm very happy to announce my new playlist, that is programming in C Sharp. So without further ado, I'll be immediately starting with this playlist and the first video of that. So what exactly you can expect in this particular playlist? It is all about C Sharp being used in .NET framework for a simple programming development, console applications, and then further I would like to extend this for the creation of web APIs as well. Okay, so you can very well look forward to a really good fundamental concepts as well as a good examples, good programming examples from this particular playlist. So in the first video, I'll be having basics of .NET framework. So we will quickly look at the concepts like what exactly is the .NET framework and what are the components of .NET framework and so on. And I'll show you a small hello world program that how do we do programming in C Sharp. Okay, then the further videos would be interesting to see all the fundamentals, as I generally have a habit of completing the fundamentals in a very strong way before going with the actual programming concepts. Okay, so let's go ahead. So what is the .NET framework? Let's have a quick introduction to .NET framework. So it's a software framework which is designed and developed by Microsoft. You know, Microsoft has made this things in such a way that development becomes very easy for a developer. So all the kind of the preamble and all the pre creation, the groundwork is already being done. Okay, it's a virtual machine for compiling and executing programs. You know, you would also see that it is quite similar to, somewhat similar to rather the platform independent culture, and we have a two-stage compilation process where compiling and interpreting goes one after the other to make it more independent and so on. So that same thing you'll be able to see here. This framework can be used with languages like C Sharp, VB.NET and so on. There are many languages rather which is being supported by this .NET framework. Our main focus, as you've already seen, would be on C Sharp. Now .NET framework has got two main components. One is CLR, that is Common Language Runtime, which is very, very important. And the other one is FCL, which is Framework Class Library. So you are very much already aware about the inbuilt function and the, what you can say, the mechanism for providing these inbuilt functions in other languages. It is quite similar here as well under FCL. So let's look at these two, CLR and FCL first. So CLR, as I said, Common Language Runtime, it's one of the very important component. So it's a runtime environment that runs the code. Okay, it provides various services like thread management, type safety, memory management, which are some of the mentioned one. There are many. Okay, it manages the execution of .NET programs. So CLR is a heart of the .NET framework, rather we can say .NET systems. So it actually manages the whole execution of .NET programs. As I said, there will be a compilation that will take place, and then it converts it into an intermediate language that is called MSIL, and then it gets executed based on the further part that is being required. So that is how rather all these things is being managed by CLR. Now what CLR consists of? It consists of the following things, that is CLI, Common Language Infrastructure, Garbage Collector, and JIT compiler, that is just-in-time compiler. Out of that, this CLI is made up of two things, CLS, CTS. CLS is Common Language Specification and CTS is Common Type System. So Common Language Specification is a language used for writing all these things, and CTS is a type specification which makes it more robust, because then the whole .NET framework will have its own type specification irrespective of the different languages that it works with, and that's the reason it actually provides the connectivity or intercompatibility between the different languages. Framework class library, as I already said, it's a collection of reusable object-oriented class and libraries and methods. Okay, there's a concept of assembly also here. So your FCL can be integrated with CLR, and together it is being called as assembly, which is the ultimate concept. It makes the thing self-sufficient. So whatever different things are required for the execution of the program, everything is bundled together in a single component, and that's called assembly. FCL can be compared with the concept of header files from C, C++, or the concept of packages of Java. Okay, so now before I go ahead for a programming example, let's look at the .NET Core part. So that is a new or the advanced version of this .NET framework, and our again main focus would be on .NET Core, ASP.NET Core. That's what we are going to work with. So it's a free, open source, and a general purpose development platform. It is used for developing modern cloud-based software applications on Windows, Linux, and macOS. It operates across many platforms. It is fast and scalable. So you can see the current version .NET framework is being bypassed. Bypass doesn't say, it is being upgraded, and now what we do development is in .NET Core. Again, there are many things which are in pipeline, and you would see as the time progresses, newer things would come and maybe take the place of .NET Core as well. Okay, so that is about the overall brief introduction about .NET framework, .NET Core, .NET system, in which we'll be working for doing C# programming as well as going further doing a web API development as well. Okay, so here I had used Microsoft Visual Studio 2022. So that's a latest advanced version. Okay, so I had created a small file. I've rather created a new small file which is a console application. Okay, in the newer part of the editors now, the Visual Studio, you don't have to even create all this namespace and class program and main function and all these things. You can simply start typing and it will get automatically interpreted. But I had rather decided to stick to the old style where we've got a namespace, so that you'll be able to understand these things properly. And then maybe later on, if you work with the advanced version, you can skip that and all these things. So you can see clearly it's a namespace which holds everything. So I've got a namespace sample, which is generally going to be the name of the program that you put here. Under that, there'll be one class program, public class program, which will be holding the main function, static void main, string args. You know, all these things slowly will obviously learn. This is a simple what you can say experiment of showing you how the program looks like, so to create a bit of interest. And what I'm doing is I'm just simply printing console.writeLine, which is how we can print hello world. That's it. So we are waving at the world. We've just begun, and we'll be doing many program hereafter. Okay, once we get well versed with the concepts. So how do we build? You can build from here. So build solution, and then you can very well once the solution gets successfully built, you can execute. So we can debug, say start debugging here, or we can directly go for execution from this particular point. So currently it was nothing great to be done. It was to simply print hello world, and you would see this particular output on the screen. So you can see hello world, it is being printed, and this is how a simple C# program could be written. Okay, don't worry, I hope you've got at least a simple one. So those who are starting with C# new can open a Visual Studio, open a console app, and just type in this much, and you can see the programs running. And then we're going to experiment, we're going to do many more programs, as you've seen my other playlist as well. Okay, so now I can say thanks a lot, and I can say this is the end of the first very basic and a very informative video. Okay, if you have not seen my other playlist, please do visit that. We have a wonderful playlist on C programming. We've got so many videos which covers a lot of programming questions. We've got a playlist on data structure where a lot of good stuff is being explained. Then we have some entertainment or random fun videos as well, which you can visit and appreciate rather. So as far as this playlist is concerned, it's a C# playlist, programming in C#, and we've just begun with the basics. In further videos, I will start with more fundamentals of C# programming. So that's it for the current video. Thanks a lot and wish you a very happy learning.